Hi everybody, it's Christy Forsyth with Clarity. I am just feeling compelled today to make a video. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts. And this is in response to a really tragic situation that I found out about yesterday. And it's somebody that I used to know, and I don't know, my brain is just having a really hard time making sense of it. You know, and anybody who's ever been through a traumatic situation or heard really tragic news, you know that feeling of just being punched in the gut and just being shaken and not understanding why in the world things like this happen. And you guys know I love the magic that exists here in this world, right? I even made a Facebook group about it. I'll add the link below, but it's a place that we all share the magic, that we talk about the magic. I love to live the magic. It's a place where people share their stories and talk about the little miracles that happen for them and answered prayers and the things that they've manifested. So I'm all about that. But sometimes life isn't that. Sometimes life doesn't feel magical. And so I thought I would talk a little bit about my thoughts related to that, because I think when it doesn't feel magical, we can get caught in this way of thinking where things just feel really miserable, and it's really hard to connect with that feeling of it being a magical world. So these are just a few of my thoughts about maybe why awful things happen or why life is uncomfortable sometimes. So I just really believe, first and foremost, that we have a plan for our life, that when we come here to earth, that there is some level of an intention for our life, that everybody who exists here has some kind of a purpose and has some type of intention for their best life here on earth. And so when we come here on earth, it's my belief that we don't come here for the experience to be completely rainbows and unicorns and magic and miracles, because if it were that, then it would just be heaven, right? And it wouldn't be an experience of learning and growth. And so I do believe that we come here with sort of a mission to live our best life and to be the best version of ourselves in spite of the challenges that we go through. So we come here and we have that experience and we go through some really rough times. And I don't know about you, but I know in my experience with the tough things that I've been through, man, have I grown. And wow, have I found myself connecting with my strength through those times. And, you know, when we're in it, it feels really awful and it feels really overwhelming. And humans are emotional, right? So we feel really emotional. We can feel very depressed or anxious or stuck, and that can be incredibly painful. But through that process, I really think that it helps us to identify the things that we want in our life and to identify maybe changes that we need to make so that we can be a better version of ourselves, or so that we can have a better version of our life. And so we are going through this whole process of that. And I also believe that, you know, we wouldn't maybe recognize the miracles that show up for us or the magic that shows up for us so much if we didn't go through the tough times, if we didn't have those lows, because then there would be no highs. Then there would be no joy, because we wouldn't be able to differentiate it. So there's all of that. And I also believe that some of these bigger events, some of these really tragic events happen in an effort to create some change here in this world. You know, certainly this earth is not perfect and there is lots of room for growth and development. So sometimes these happen not just for our personal development, but for the development and for the changing of the world. So I also believe that it can help to propel some of that forward and make those changes that really need to happen. And so I think when you look back sometimes on those hard times in your life, you can recognize with a little bit of perspective why it happened, and maybe even be thankful in some ways. Sometimes we can look back and just feel that gratitude, like, thank God that happened, because now I have this, or now this has happened to me. And so we can understand it. But when we're in it without that perspective, it can feel really hard to connect with the reason or to understand. And it can feel like we're not supported and we're not loved. But I just really want to encourage you to consider the idea that you are very loved and you are very supported at any moment. And that's what I love about this group that I'm doing, is there are so many signs all over the place, and people are sharing their stories that just really support this idea that we are loved, we are supported, whether we're going through a painful time or a joyous time. And so I really just want to allow that to just sink in for you guys, and I would love to hear your thoughts on maybe adding to some of these things. Why do we go through tough times? Why can life be so hard sometimes? But I genuinely don't believe that that's because we are ever without love and support here in this world. So if you would like to learn more about me or about Clarity, you can check us out at www.discoveryourawakening.com. And if you would like to join my magic group, it's called It's a Magical Life with Christy Forsyth, but I will include a link below to the group. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, guys. I'll see you soon.